Good evening and welcome to the Indian Wells Valley Water District regular board meeting for Monday, November 10th, 2025. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 4:30 p.m. George, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. All rise. Hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Roll call, please.
President St. Amon,
Present.
Vice President Griffin is absent. Director Boyd,
Here.
Kuczynski,
Here.
Director Rotora.
Here. Posting of agenda declaration.
The agenda for today's regular board meeting was posted on Thursday, November 6, 2025.
Conflict of interest declaration.
President St. Amon,
None.
Vice President Griffin is absent. Director Boyd,
None.
Director Kuczynski,
None.
Director Rotora.
None. Public questions and comments on the closed session. There is no one present here in the boardroom with us, and there are no viewers online. So we will now close the open session at 4:31 p.m. and open the closed session shortly. Thank you. Lauren, when do we close the closed session? Thank you. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We closed the closed session at 5:49, and we're going to reopen the open session at 6 p.m. Mr. Worth.
The board met with staff and legal counsel in closed session. No action was taken that requires disclosure under the Brown Act.
All right, item 8, public questions and comments. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons desiring to address the board on any matter not on the agenda and over which the board has jurisdiction. However, no action may be taken by the board of directors on any item not appearing on the agenda. Non-agenda speakers are asked to limit their presentation to 5 minutes. Public questions and comments on items listed on the agenda will be accepted at any time the item is brought forth for consideration by the board. When you're recognized by the chairperson, please state your name for the record. Do we have anybody? We have one person who's joined us here in the boardroom. Any public questions or comments? Okay, and do we have anybody online who has waved a little tiny yellow hand? Nope, all right. Then we will move ahead. Item 9, Alpha, consent calendar.
I move approval to consent calendar to include the October 16th special board meeting, the October 22nd minutes of the special board meeting, and approval of accounts payable disbursements. I was going to ask that we read all of the minutes, but I think that Lauren probably doesn't have time for that. I'm just kidding. So I move for approval of the consent agenda.
I second that emotion.
All right, are there any, is any discussion from the public?
Excuse me for coming in a little late. Judy Decker, I do have a question. You had a closed session. Was there just now? Was there any announcement from that closed session?
No,
None.
no recordable action.
All right. Anyone else? Okay, any discussion from the board? Then I'd like to call for the vote, please.
Oh, abstain, right? Can I do that, or you need to do it? Here, yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
There.
Very good. The motion passes unanimously by the directors who are present. All right, item 9 Bravo, comprehensive adjudication, report and discussion regarding the status of this action.
Sure. This will be pretty quick. It's very consistent with the report last month. With respect to phase 2, the trial's still set for June 1st, 2026. We're ongoing. We're going with discovery right now. We're asking questions and providing and receiving documents from the other parties consistent with questions that have been asked. The next significant date with respect to the adjudication would be December 5th, 2025, and that's when the expert rebuttal reports are due. With respect to mediation on the adjudication matter, it looks like the first mediation session will occur either on February 13th or February 18th. It's been agreed by all the parties, and it's one of the dates that are available with the mediator. So as we get closer to that date, we'll start to define who will be there and what it'll look like. But right now, our opening date is sometime in mid-February, it looks like. The last thing I have to report on is the reverse validation action that was filed by Searles Valley. You'll recall that we filed a motion basically to determine the scope of our involvement with that matter moving forward with or without Searles Valley. That will be heard on November 21st, a week from Monday, and then we'll see where we go on that one. That's all I have to report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from the Board of Directors? No. Are there any questions from the public?
Sure. So the reverse validation, that was the lawsuit that was filed by Searles Valley challenging the GSP and the various implementation actions. The district filed an answer as an interested person, and there is some dispute between the district and the GA as to what is the allowed scope of our involvement. So it's a cordial conversation, but we're taking it to the judge to see what the judge says. And then once we can determine the scope, we'll move forward. But we're trying to be efficient about it. We are working with the GA, even though we have a difference of opinion, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you. Are there any people online that are interested in asking questions? Okay, seeing none. Let's go on to 9, oops, sorry. 9 Charlie, Indian Wells Valley Groundwater Authority. So let's see. There were no representatives available to attend the last month's GA board meeting, but we will have somebody at this upcoming board meeting, which is this Wednesday, November 12th. It's listed as beginning at 10 a.m. with a closed session that should go to open session no earlier than 10:30 a.m. So I would show up between 10:30 and 11 if that's the usual pattern. There's nothing on the agenda that I saw that appeared to be anything other than routine, but I would like to mention, which the board already knows, that on October 21st, the Westbound Communications, the public relations contractor to the Groundwater Authority, released an erroneous press release announcing a signed agreement between the GA and Searles Valley Minerals. That was subsequently retracted by the GA and retracted by the Daily Independent. However, I note with great interest that it's still posted to the Groundwater Authority's website and to their Facebook site as of 11 a.m. this morning. George, what have you got for us?
Nothing significant to report, other than what you had to say, sir.
All right. Any questions from the directors? Comments?
Yeah, can you remind them about the 2024 audit? I think that you were promised before the end of the year. See if you get,
I noticed it wasn't there.
yeah,
I didn't go into details, but there was nothing in the larger description that said anything about an audit.
I do remember Carol saying end of the year.
She did. I
Yes.
remember it clearly.
Yes.
Right. I will ask about that. I've got.
Thank you.
Don't let me forget, George.
Oh, and there was actually one topic that was associated with the fees going to the city, which I'm assuming is the wastewater agreement.
Yes.
So it'd be, there was no details in that, but obviously that's something where we need to be interested in.
Okay. Director Boyd?
No, nothing more.
All right. Is there anybody in the public that has a question and present? No? And if we have somebody online who would like to ask a question, please do so.
Hello, this is Renee Westelas. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to know, I thought you had an alternate, so if the appointed board member that's supposed to go to the GA meetings is unable to make it, then the alternate goes.
Our alternate had previously scheduled responsibilities and was also unable to make it. That said, they continued to have their meeting without us.
Well, I don't know, you don't have another third backup. You can't send the general manager to at least attend the meeting, maybe not be in the board position.
You were attending the meeting, were you not, George?
I was at the meeting. I don't know that I'm allowed to be on the board of the
Right.
GA as a representative. I think it would have to be one of the members of this board.
Yeah, I understand that, but you probably could still give a report.
Yes, I think there was some budget, and I think that was the meeting they presented their budget. We looked at that. Their budget was what, $9.5 million? We did some analysis of that. I believe about a little over 4 million of that came from grants, and so about 45% from grant funding and about 55% from other funding sources such as the replenishment fee and the extraction fee. That was kind of the big thing that we wanted to look at, was where they were at budget wise. And that's probably worth reporting. I believe there were some interesting reports out of Capitol Corps about their progress on the pipeline. They had their first report from, is it Blue Mountain? I believe that was Blue Mountain is their new consultant, and it was somewhat unclear to me who really had the lead on what role with respect to NEPA and CEQA and some of the other things that are going on with the pipeline. Does not appear that they are prepared to submit any of their NEPA or CEQA documents at this point in time. I think that was also significant. They're still trying to get a way ahead on that, and that's going to be quite the process for them.
And the GA was notified that the alternate was not going to be able to make the meeting several days in advance. So if it had been important that the water district be there, they could have rescheduled the meeting. There was no surprises.
Okay, well, thank you for the update.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Okay. Any additional discussion? Let's go to 9 Delta, Plant and Equipment Committee.
Hold on. How that gets turned off. There we go. I think it's working now. There we go. All right, so this was brought to the board before and it got put off the request of legal counsel. So we're bringing it back. This is a reminder that Mr. and Mrs. Osborne, they own a 3.2 acre parcel located off Pickrell Street that's between Springer Avenue and Kendall Avenues. I think there's a map on the next slide, whether it can be seen or not, but they have that red outline parcel there. So Pickrell doesn't run all the way through, so it's kind of a landlocked parcel. They have an 15-foot access easement from the north off of Springer to access their parcel. And there is some litigation from the landowners to the west of them over that access easement. But the district also has a 30-foot pipeline easement for pipeline appurtenances in that same area. And so legal counsel, Jim, you can say anything you want to, but I don't know. But yeah, in your opinion was it's not our fight. So if they want to go ahead and ask for their variance for their water service, that they could go ahead and do so. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's my understanding that whatever dispute between the landowners, it's about access easement, but we've got an easement from 1976 that was granted to the district by the Pickrells, I assume, when they were doing whatever they were doing there. So we have a sufficient easement to get us, I believe you're coming from Springer and coming down to the corner of their property, which would be sufficient as I understand it. And there's no reason why the district would say no other than, other reasons, but it wouldn't be as a result of the dispute between the landowners, I would imagine.
Yeah, so the Auburns are requesting a variance so that they don't have to install an 8-inch pipeline to their parcel, because that would be the normal course that the district would require. So they would set their water meter at Springer or on the south side of their parcel, which would be at Pickrell, but that would be a little more difficult because there are quite a few fences and stuff that might be in the way for they get access to do that connection. So most likely it would be set off of Springer, and then they would run just a 2-inch, PVC pipe over to their parcel, and the district would not be responsible for that 2-inch line. Our responsibility ends at the meter. So P&E committee, after taking a look at it and discussing it, recommended the board grant the variance for that.
Even if for some reason they just decide they can put the meter on the corner of their property, I don't want the water district responsible for a 2-inch line. So
Correct.
if they decide to put the meter elsewhere, then you still have the line from Springer to the meter.
No, the meter is going to be at
It's
Springer.
definitely going to be at Springer.
Yes, we would not allow them to
Okay,
put
good.
it up at their
All right.
property, no. Not unless they construct an 8-inch water line.
Director Boyd, questions or comments?
No.
Director Rotora? No. Are there any people out in our audience or online who would like to ask a question? Okay, so I believe we're going to need a motion to grant the waiver. Is that correct? Do I have such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any additional discussion? Let's call for the vote, please. The motion passes unanimously with the directors who are present. Thank you. All right, 9 Echo, conference and travel, conference and training travel. George?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. We'll get there.
Okay, well, I am the only public here tonight. At your last regular board meeting in October, you had two ladies here from the CSD. And incidentally, in the meantime, I talked to George quite accidentally at Home Depot. And I would like to request that you put the CSD up in the beginning of your meeting so that if the public comes and has a comment on that issue, they will be able to stay and talk about it, myself included.
And for the record, that's Judy Decker.
Yeah.
Now, this is,
Unfortunately, the members of the CSD left, what, about 5 minutes before it was their spot on the agenda at the last meeting that we
she's
did.
just asking us to, this is actually out of order, but
Okay.
well, I'll allow it this time. We can move that as its own separate item up to the,
Yes,
closer to the front.
and could we discuss it now? Is that?
Well, when we get to
Well,
it, yeah.
we'll be there shortly.
Shortly, yeah. I could make also a comment too, that if for some reason we need to move something up on the agenda, because of that, we can always be requested.
At the
and
time.
asked to do it if
Okay,
we have
all
to.
right.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to recommend this, that if we have CSD directors present, that we ask them if they would like to make that request. Okay. All right. Go ahead, George, with conference and training.
Yeah, David, I'd submitted to you trying to get a more comprehensive list of sort of the training for the senior staff and myself here at the Water District, and you had asked us to be put on the agenda.
Okay.
There is, I talked with Lauren, there's one CSDA training that is required, I believe, and that's of the general manager, I believe, Lauren, so that we can qualify for the District of Transparency. Is that correct?
It's the District of Distinction.
Oh, District of Distinction,
And
okay.
it is for board members and for the GM.
Okay,
They
so,
both have to attend that if
Somebody
they're
from-
new board member,
If they're new board members.
and a new GM would need to attend as well.
And so did George qualify as an existing GM, or does he need to?
He attended.
Okay, so then we don't, that's not a necessary expense.
okay, I wasn't sure if that was every year we had to go for that award, just one, okay, so there's really nothing absolutely required of the GM. I think right now we would like to focus on sending some of our senior staff for leadership and other training to advance their careers.
Do you have a list of those proposed training available for the board?
I wasn't sure when you asked, I failed to ask you, sir, about what you actually wanted, so I do have a list. I don't have it in front of me right now.
Right, so we'll deal with the one that's the most proximate, and that is an Aqua 2025 Fall Conference and Expo. That is coming in December 2nd through 4th.
Yeah,
I suggest that if you do request a list and what the belief are and all this, that it comes to the administrative committee first and they look at, yeah, and it may never have to come out of there, but
Okay,
it could stay there, yeah.
all right, submit the complete list to the admin exec committee.
okay.
Let's talk, if you don't mind, we'll talk about the Aqua Conference. The total, you were proposing to send yourself and Renee to the conference, is that right?
I originally requested that. I am not able to attend that
You
week.
can't attend,
No, I cannot.
okay.
And at this point in time, I do not plan to attend. Normally I had gone because there was other directors that would want to go, so I would go with a director. I believe Mallory and perhaps,
Been your annual representative at Aquas for the past 5 years.
Is there any other director that's interested in attending the Aqua Conference?
What's the date of it?
it's
First
just
week of December,
first week of
2
December.
through 4.
It's in San Diego.
Tuesday through Thursday.
Yeah.
Mel's been doing an excellent job.
Yeah, but he's tired of it.
Yeah, so if there's
Tired?
not a director going, I don't know that I see any need for. me.
What's the latest you need to know to make reservations and everything for pretty quick? Are we already too late? Oh, that's right, because it's first part of December. Yeah, we probably won't even get a room near the place.
Yeah.
We may be a little late all the way around.
All right, so we'll just let this go this year?
I think we should.
All right, so I don't think there's any additional action. The next item is the Legislative Symposium in Sacramento in February, is that right? We still have time to sign up for that?
We do, and I think that's just sort of a placeholder for budgetary reasons that, you know, we may need to be in Sacramento due to, you know, I'll give my updates on legislative stuff, but as AB 13 rears its ugly head again, I suspect somebody from the district may need to be in Sacramento at some point.
Okay, so for the next admin executive, please have the updated list ready and we'll take it under consideration.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
Director Boyd had made a comment that he has been the Aqua representative for the past 5 years. Do we want to add that to the agenda to possibly recommend somebody else nominate?
No, let's keep him permanently. I'm just,
Was it just,
Serving city.
was it just this year that was a conflict?
I don't know what the conflict is.
Okay.
The fact that we didn't decide to go to this one until.
Okay, all right.
We usually have Amber submit paperwork when we first get news of the conference,
Okay.
and that's usually in the
And-
September timeframe.
Oh, you, at the end, I understood that you weren't really interested in going this year, is that right?
No, I would have gone if I needed,
Okay,
but it sounds like,
it's too late.
I think we're probably outside the window.
all right.
So you're okay
Well,
for
sure.
clarification to stay as the Aqua rep? We don't want to.
Okay, let's wish for cause.
We can change you at any time. We say out.
Okay. All right, then we'll carry on the rest of this at a future meeting. Are there any questions from the public about this topic? Okay, we're going to go to 9 Foxtrot, General Manager and Staff Report. Number 1, water production, new services, et cetera.
Yes, sir. Nothing significant to report on the employee injuries. Water Smart data, we had 28 conversations, 16 field visits. Delinquent account lockoffs, 84 in October. That number seems to be fluctuating up and down.
Yeah, it fell from September. September was in the 90s.
Yeah. Seemed like in the summer, we were up above 100 at some point, I thought.
I
Pretty
think
close.
in the 90s was about.
Okay. Yeah, so, you know, like to see that number stay low. Water waste incidents, 757 were identified by Water Smart, and there were 16 field visits. So always a good time to make a plug for Water Smart and, you know, to ensure that leaks don't turn into excessively high water bills.
A question about delinquent accounts. The latest legislation that passed, Ty, I'm sure you're aware of it. The latest legislation that passed on collecting for delinquent accounts in water. Have you read that? Have you seen it? I just wonder, or maybe Jim should be the one who looks at it to see if there's anything there that is pertinent to the district. But I do, the governor signed it, and it has to do with collection proceedings and
Yeah,
how, what you can do and whether we'd even want to do anything.
when I reviewed it, we met all the requirements already.
But what does it allow you to do that's different? There are some things in there.
I'll take a look again.
Take a look at it and see. I'm not saying we're going to implement it, but I think we need to know what we have in our pockets. Yeah.
Like I said, when I looked.
I
at
can't remember
it,
the
thought we
bill
were
number
covered.
either. I'm sorry. Yeah.
We'll look at it again.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, any questions from the directors? Anybody in questions from the public? Okay, well, let's move to item 2, committee meeting updates. For those committees that are not currently on the agenda? All right, go ahead, caller.
Yes, this is Renee Westalusk. On your update on leaks and water usage, you said on both individual homes and landlord-owned properties. What can be done? Because the last time you said something had to be worked out with the city if it was part of their
I
responsibility.
jumped ahead, yep. So I jumped ahead, let's go ahead and answer that question for item 1I. I went too far on 2, go ahead. Who wants to tackle that?
I could tackle that
Okay.
if you would like, George. So
Oh,
this is
go ahead.
this is the leak relief letter that we've been working on to help an individual that owns a property that maybe their service lateral goes under the street. That's all that one is, Renee. So
So-
we have been in contact with the city. It's the same, making sure that we're not outbidding or under, I'm sorry, not outbidding, but undercutting any contractor any way, shape or form. And we will go in there and make the repair, and the landlord or the owner of the building then gets the bill from us.
That leaky pipe is underneath asphalt.
Yes.
So
Just
how
like it
long-
is in La Mirage.
Yeah, there's like very few connections like that, but when there is, there's issues.
So how long is this gonna take for that one, I guess, landlord that owns a property in La Mirage?
Well, it will be the individual owner. I misspoke when I said landlord. I'm sorry about that, but it's actually a property owner, Renee. It's gonna take a little bit. There's some stuff, there's requirements we have to meet with legality reasons.
So what happens to their water bill in the meantime? Because this is dragging out for a few months,
They-
right?
They pay for their water bill. That's part of it.
Ugh.
Unless they want to file an encroachment permit and hire a contractor, that's what happens.
So they've got to pay this huge water bill every month until it gets repaired?
Yes.
Unless they
Okay.
want to pay their own private contractor. Which at this point, paying the water bill is probably less expensive.
Yeah, and the district has to cover its liability in these cases. We have to make sure that we're not conflicted with competing with private contractors for that type of work. And we have Jim working on that in legal to make sure we're good. We also have to make sure that we can actually collect the funds for the labor that we do provide, so that it doesn't come out of our other customers' accounts. And Jim is taking care of that as well to make sure that we are covered sort of across the board on all these other issues that need to be resolved. The goal is to help the people in the community, but we have to go through the process correctly.
Right.
Is this correct where it says both individual homes and landlord? I thought it was just individual homes. Where are we on that? Have we changed our stand?
Okay, so those are, that's my mistake. That's two separate issues in under one bullet. They should have been separate bullets. So this is the individual person.
Okay.
And then we are continuing to work with landlords to see what we can do about the excessive leaks that occur in the La Mirage area, in properties that are owned by landlords. We know that they're making progress and that they are fixing leaks, and that is good progress. They're also trying to get, our understanding is that some of these landlords in the La Mirage area are trying to work with contractors to help move the services across the street. And I don't know where we're at with that process. John, do you have an update with where they're at?
So when I spoke to their manager last time, they were getting quotes for materials. And it's a substantial amount, so they're putting together a package as well to see what their costs are going to be. And they have to have a general contractor present to do most of the work. The company can be on hand, but they don't have a GC license, so they have to hire one. So they're getting quotes and bids as well.
Okay. And with regard to the individual landowner, if the water leakage pushes the quote usage unquote above tier 1, then all that extra expense is money that's going to the groundwater authority. And the groundwater authority does not, as far as I know, have a policy of forgiveness.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, so we're still under 9 Foxtrot 1, and let's do item II, update on RAN communities.
Yeah, nothing significant to report here. We are still continuing to work and dialogue with them. They're still pretty involved in the recovery efforts that are underway under there and getting their system in order. But we are hoping, we have invited them to this meeting. They've wanted to come and see how we run our board meetings. And I believe they have not selected a general manager. They have a person who is the office manager. So we thought that was the general manager, but apparently don't have an official general manager in title to sort of deal with. We think that person will get promoted, but we're kind of waiting for that to happen and them to actually get a real general manager.
Okay, thank you. And item III, update on Inyo County Code Enforcement call.
Yeah, there are some photos that were put in front of you. And John, I believe we've made some progress. John, how many times have you been up there now? I've been up
Been
there.
up there
once.
twice and been on the phone many times. I'm supposed to go up there again. But those are updated photos. You'll see there's a lot of actually progress made. Towards the front is where the wood pile has shrank. They've been pulling out wood from that wood pile. They're setting it aside to get a chipper and start chipping it. Towards the back of that is some property that has been cleared. That was where the steel pile was. So that steel is all gone and hauled off. The cars are out of the pile and we're supposed to be hauled off last Friday. So a lot of progress has been made up there. So we will continue. I'm supposed to be up there every other week to every few weeks to meet with her or give her an update if she's not available to meet.
And we want to thank the Inyo County Code Enforcement and their environmental people for actually being very helpful in the way they've been working with us on this problem.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any questions from the public about this item? Okay. Let's move ahead to finally to 9 Foxtrot 2 committee meeting updates.
Okay, I'm going to apologize once again. My slides up on here are not in order with the agenda, and that is my fault. Sorry, sir. But this was my legislative update, and it was really just saying that AB 1413 from Pappen could return in January 2026. We continue to monitor that situation, and we will update you as things occur.
All right, thank you. There's a caller that has a question for a previous item.
Yes, this is Renee Westelisk. I didn't get my hand up quick enough, but I wanted to know about that trash cleanup in Inyo County. I thought I read in one of the committee reports that they found someone that was purposely dumping all that trash there.
John, want to tackle that?
So they had witnessed what they thought somebody was dumping. The actual dumping part, they did not see. The report of the vehicle was kind of matched the same description is what was reported.
Yeah, I think we would say that Inyo County Code Enforcement, we would leave it to their discretion to, if there were some formal charges or some formal accusations of who did the illegal dumping, that's probably not our swim lane to be in. We would leave it to them unless we had some direct evidence. So,
We really have no insight into the investigation.
that's correct.
Okay, so.
You're saying it is being investigated by the Inyo County Code Enforcement Organization?
We believe so.
And then what's the future of this site? Because how often does anybody from the water district go up there to inspect or anything? It probably could happen all over again.
So we will be taking corrective actions. We're up there about once a month, checking some monitoring wells that we have on that property for water levels. And so as part of our once a month visit, we will be monitoring the property more closely.
And then how much is the water district having to pay for the removal of all this trash?
John, I don't think we paid anything yet.
So
have we?
far, it's my time going up there.
So
We haven't had to pay anything so far.
so far? Well, how did you get rid of the vehicles?
So there's an adjacent property owner, and while we are not going to make any accusations, they have been very helpful in removing the trash that's on our property. And we are happy to see them doing that work and not costing us anything. And we are supportive of them continuing to do that work and remove that trash from our property at no cost to the water district.
Okay.
Okay.
Are there going to be signs posted or anything on the property to warn?
There's
People-
already no trespassing signs posted up there. So when you cover 345 acres, you're not going to see every square acre right away. It's going to take time. So some of this has been dumped in the backside of the property. Some of this you're not going to even see unless you are driving all the time through this property, Renee.
And
So-
John, didn't the property owner adjacent to our property put up a fence between our property
Yes.
and theirs to prevent people from
Yes.
traversing between the properties? So that will be helpful as well.
That is correct, with no trespassing signs as well on that fence.
Okay, thank you for the update.
Thank you. Judy, you have something you'd like to bring up? Okay.
Is this the Grant Airport property? Okay.
All right, then, let's see. Anything else? So we did committee meeting updates. George, where are we going next?
Yeah, there's nothing significant that's not covered elsewhere in the meeting for committee meeting updates.
Okay,
They're all covered elsewhere.
all right, public outreach, sir.
Well, hold on, I guess I should say, does the CSD committee members have any updates? Because that I did not.
That's coming up, the next item,
Okay.
after public outreach.
Okay, public outreach. A local, and I hope I get this right, Lauren got me up to speed on this one. Local high school Opportunities for Learning is going to have Lauren and John go and showcase some opportunities at the Water District, what we do, what type of careers are available here, and that will be happening here in what, about a week?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Want to thank them for that. We did, since the last boarding, we had trunk or treat and the last farmer's market event that we are doing, at least at this point in time. Social media, I've seen a lot of good posts about some of the great things our employees are doing, getting higher certifications, getting Class B licenses, and, you see a lot of really good stuff that reflects well on the great things we're doing here at the Water District. And David has already talked about this GA and Searles Valley Minerals issue of whether they have or have not signed some sort of agreement or settlement. So that's been covered, and that's it for this part of the report.
Okay, any questions from the directors? Any questions from the public? All right. Water system consolidations update, item 4. In your current CSD ad hoc committee meeting, who wants to tackle that?
I think that's probably mine.
All right.
I'll bring the public's attention to, within the package that we provided, there's some summary under item 4 in the plant equipment regular meeting notes that might be helpful for you. In summary, one member of the ad hoc team, Mr. Griffin, was not available for the 2 meetings that were conducted within Ukern. One of those was with the State Water Board, who came down to do their first public hearing about what the plans are for the desired consolidation being spoken by the State Water Board, to answer questions to the public about what that meant, why they were doing it, and pretty candid discussion from the State Water Board regarding their expectations and pushback on CSD's desire to not have a consolidation. I was there, identified myself, and clarified a few questions or answers that were being bounded around the room that were inaccurate, namely about why the Water District was involved. Had the Water District, or had the State Water Board representative state clearly to the public that we were not there on an aggressive manner. We were there by request from the State Water Board of California to do the consolidation within your current CSD. The meeting went well at about 2 hours long, lots of questions and answers. I think for the most part, people left less confused, probably still as fearful as they may have come into the meeting. because there were really no answers, firm answers for solving CSD's problems, but at least they had a chance to hear from the State Water Board. The State Water Board mentioned that they would be coming back for a second public hearing sometime in December, I understand, maybe January, but I think it's in December. And of course, at that point, they're going to want to see the progress that we've been making on this managerial consolidation, which there hasn't been much progress at all. I did attend that meeting and was invited by Kristen and Holly to attend their following CSD meeting, but that was more of a friendly gesture. It was not an agendized item to talk about consolidation. It was just their normal meeting. There was a rumored meeting that I think a council had been talking about having a no kidding focus public in attendance meeting on consolidation. That was postponed or terminated. It didn't happen.
Yeah, there was a meeting that was canceled.
That was a meeting that was canceled with no update from that. So those were the two interactions that we had. The discussion between CSD and the Water District have been cordial. They've been respectful both ways. It's pretty obvious that CSD would prefer not to see a consolidation move forward, and they're trying to take steps to improve their image with the State Water Board to try to delay or prevent the consolidation. I'm speaking a little bit ad lib here. I don't think there's an official position that's been submitted, but it's pretty obvious in their commentary that they would prefer this not to happen. We recently received a draft JPA from their council. The board has looked at it. The Water District Board has looked at it, has concerns. We basically fed those, not detailed concerns, but basically fed our opinion back to their council. And so that's pretty much the only dialogue that we've had, which was a written dialogue about how they think we could move forward. It was not something that our board was willing to embrace. This morning, I signed a letter, WD letterhead, summarizing what's happened, those statements I just made, plus a few others regarding our concern. December is just around the corner. The State Water Board's going to be back, and we don't have anything substance to share with the State Water Board other than perhaps what I just described. So we're concerned about that. I guess we've got notification that somebody within the CSD has received that letter. That's about all I have.
Okay. Any questions from the directors? Any questions from the public? We have someone moving to the microphone.
Yes, Judy Decker. Did you not have a special meeting in October regarding a letter you were going to send to the CSD? Or am I mistaken?
That's correct. I believe that letter's posted on our website at this point.
No, it was not posted there today under the CSD.
I just posted it today.
You
It is
did
on-
just post it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It just went out this morning, Judy.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm sorry. I guess I thought the letter had gone out after your special meeting, which I did not attend.
No, we had a lengthy discussion about the content of the letter,
All right.
and then we had to get a,
I will print you a copy after the meeting if you'd like,
Oh, it's okay. If it's on the website,
on the website. Okay.
I'll read it myself. I wish you luck. When I was first became a member of this board back in 1986, the board voted to, at the state's urging, to acquire, as you know, the Ridgecrest Heights water system. But that was a different situation because it was a community water system owned by an individual. You have here with the CSD, a, a community water system that was voted in place by the residents at the time. And I believe that was in 1985 or so. And so you have a different situation.
Yeah.
And how the state is going to deal with that, because I guess it would be a state issue because they are a special district, not unlike yourselves. I find that from my perspective of the CSD and their operations, having been vaguely involved with people who have lived there for years, who left because of the water situation. It's going to be very difficult. And the only way for them to survive, in my opinion, is in fact for you to take them over, not a joint powers authority. I don't see how that would work, but then I don't have a law degree either. Just some thoughts.
What's more complicating is that they also handle streetlights and the sewer system of the.
They don't have any streetlights. Do they?
They do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they
Yes, I
don't have
know
a lot of streetlights, but they do have some.
They at least collect money for streetlights.
Okay, so there's nothing, our position is that there really isn't anything we can do to prevent this. We've had a couple of months where the state has requested us to have a voluntary consolidation. We haven't made much progress there, and the deadline for that is coming up rapidly,
Yes, I know.
after which it's going to be a mandatory consolidation.
Right.
And then Lord knows how that's going to happen, but we'll face that when we get there.
Yes.
Another interesting point, Judy, is the State Water Resources Board presenter was asked about the sewage system that CSD oversees, and would that be included in their consolidation? And they said categorically, no, it's just about the water.
Interesting.
It is interesting because CSD, those are joined together, and I'm sure there's some form of
I have
sharing of resources.
heard that they were examining one of their wells. Do you have any?
Yes, well 4, their plan or hope, they have what they call well 3, which is their primary well. They have well 4, which is currently, well, at least last week, was not functional. It had failed. My understanding is the bottom of the well sanded over. So they are trying to fix well 4. And they're hoping that with well 4 operating, and they can demonstrate adequate flow out of the well, that they'll be able to convince the State Water Board that they have a emergency backup for well 3.
But they have, their whole system is what, 40 years old almost. A good number of the residents don't have meters, so they aren't paying the proper amount. It's a mess.
All of that is true. All of that is true, and nobody said this was going to be easy.
Yeah, I think our perspective is that if it does indeed fall upon the water district to take over in a managerial sense and ultimately in an operational sense, that it will be a lot of additional work for us and our staff.
Mhm.
Which would be budgeted, estimated, and submitted as a bill to the state and not come at the expense of our current customer base in the
Correct.
MWD.
I'm hobbling because I did a really stupid thing. But you need to get the word out to the public about what you just said, Mel. Because the rumors of, as you know, rumors always go faster than the real news. People are thinking that they are going to be paying for the CSD, people who live in our water district customers. So a newsletter about that might not
Okay,
be a bad idea.
we'll take that under advisement. I think there's some.
Would the
value
board
to
want
that.
us to put something out on either our social media, Facebook, and or put something together for the newspaper or anything?
Have it run past Director Boyd first, but yes, do that, please.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get that in motion.
We have a caller. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I'm just thinking long-term on this. Is there any way to separate out so they could still do their own street lights and water treatment system? Because you said the state is only gonna help on the water end of it, right?
So,
That's what the State Water Board representative said when he was asked point blank about the sewage treatment facility that CSD oversees. We don't know all the details yet, Renee. Part of this dialogue needs to include the State Water Board so they understand what CSD completely is responsible for today. They effectively are the government that Inyakern has.
You know, I'm thinking at one point I heard that the group at the water board is really the Department of Drinking Water. And so they have money to work with water, but they don't have money to work with sewage.
There's water and sewage.
That may be so, but I
So-
think it
So
may be.
Stan, you're correct.
You're right.
There are different divisions within the state agency, and one oversees water, and a separate agency, Lahontan, oversees wastewater. And I believe, at least my internet research indicates that Lahontan has similar programs to fund, but they are not involved in the current process, only on the water side. And as far as I understand about the streetlights, that is simply money that is collected on the tax rolls and then is sent to Southern California Edison or some other entity that operates them for the CSD.
I think the county operates.
Is it the county? Sorry.
Does that answer your question, Renee?
Yeah, well, I kind of had another one, like it sounds like this consolidation may be forced by the state.
Correct.
So it sounds like there's going to be a lot of people upset over at the ICSD. So
Absolutely.
do they have their own attorney that can negotiate with the water district's attorney to?
We are in contact, Mr. Worth is in contact with their lawyer.
Will the attorneys handle some of the negotiations to try to smooth it out so there isn't so much hostility?
The district has an ad hoc committee, and there's no hostility from the district standpoint, more frustration.
Okay. So you think that the consolidation might go more smoothly than anticipated, or?
We are not aware of how the consolidation is going to go. We have the same concerns that you have. I don't think that setting our lawyers up in front of the public is a good idea. And I'm
Yeah,
not
but-
sure they'd be anxious to try to smooth things out with the residents of Inyakern, but we are aware that they're fiercely independent, which is one of the reasons why this board's policy has always been that we would prefer to see them survive as a community services district. Now, I say that, they probably will continue as a community services district with regards to the streetlights and sewer service. But you're now
I was-
asking questions that are
Right.
theoretical and hypothetical, and we don't have a clear answer for you at this time.
But the attorneys could meet like just in their own meeting and try to negotiate things and then do press releases and,
They're
Edu-
already negotiating,
oh, okay,
Renee.
okay,
All right, thank you.
okay.
All right, shall we move on to Rademacher?
Sure. Renee, correct me if I say anything incorrect here. We're gonna have to send some information to the GA regarding easements that'll be needed for phase 2 of Rademacher. Some of the entities, so there aren't current existing easements even for the larger pipe, and some of the residents have not agreed to give us the easement needed, and that's gonna likely cause some delays to phase two. Is that
These are-
correct?
Yeah, I've been working with Jim's office on that. There's 3 easements that we need to get. I think we could get 2 of them. And it's a third one, just don't hear from the person. So we'll have to see what we're gonna do and how we're gonna proceed with that.
Okay,
That's where we're at. I mean, at this point, the construction crew has work to do in Brady Street for this winter. So it would be spring before they could get back on that anyway. So we got a little time to try to get that straightened out.
all right.
Are there any customers currently left that are using the water from that well in their homes?
You know, that I don't know if if so, they would be off of Gordon.
Right.
But I don't know.
Okay,
That would probably be a question for Stetson. They'd probably know more.
okay, we're trying to figure that out.
I know there was a couple that ended up getting service from us previously off Springer, and we've got 2 more now off the first phase of Springer. There might be 1 that is. Yeah, but I don't know if they're using it hopefully they're not using it for cooking or drinking, anything like that. 'Cause
That's our
water
hope.
quality is very bad, yeah.
Are any questions for the directors? Any questions for the public? All right, let's go ahead and move on to Dune 3 Mutual Water Company.
All right, so right now, we're waiting for state approval to proceed for bidding, and there's also being some changes being made to the bid package itself. So that'll delay us a little bit. It takes the state, they've had it a month now, but they said it would take at least a month to get permission to go to bid. So that's all we're waiting for at this point.
All right. Questions from the board? Questions from the public? Very good. Let's go to item 5, Brady Street Transmission Pipeline Replacement.
All right, so for Brady, we're going to be working on the first section. That'll be between Indian Kern Road and Ward Avenue. It's in the design phase, getting close to finishing up design. Our crew's been doing some last minute potholing to finish up that design. The plan is to abandon the old pipe in place and not remove it. And the new pipe will be parallel to the old pipe, so that will speed things up. And we'll save money, of course, Ty. Ty likes them, we save money. So right now we are moving with getting an in-house inspector on board. It's out for interest in-house. So hopefully next week we can be doing interviews. And I had a conversation with Chuck Krieger about getting some training for the new inspector, and he was agreeable to that, to get them on some of their projects, to get some training. So get them prepared.
The inspector will monitor all quality issues, including having proper bedding under the pipeline.
Oh, yes.
Will they have the authority and the gumption to call a halt to construction? if they
Yes.
find this a problem?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, we will look for someone who does have that.
All right, that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to add an anecdotal story. So part of this whole process is finding out where all conflicting utilities might cross the pipeline where we're digging. There was a gas main, and we had the officials come out and mark the gas line where they thought it was. And you have to hand dig and use our suction trucks to get that stuff out. Well, the actual pipe was 40 feet from where they marked it, which meant that our crews were out there slowly hand digging this giant trench back and forth, trying to find this gas main. And it tells you what these guys do every day. It's amazing what they do. They have that basically vac truck, and they're digging, and you can't get in there with a backhoe because you don't want to hit the gas main. And they did eventually find it, John. It was like about 40 feet from where we initially thought.
Yes, PG&E was getting a ghost signal off of their line. So it sends their locator a different direction. And when we got clarifications for new marks, and we found the gas main, we called them right away, and they came and hooked it up and then finished marking everything out and got it and fixed it on their end.
Are they going to put something more permanent than paint on the ground to indicate where the?
Well, now
pipeline
that
is?
we know it, where it's at, it is on our maps as well.
Yeah.
So yes, that PG&E is very good at fixing their mistakes as far as locates. They update their maps immediately.
So they owe us a favor anyway. We found their gas line for them, and we made sure we
You
didn't.
found it in a way that didn't involve explosions, which is especially
Yeah.
great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I don't know about that,
Yes,
but
it's you get to go home in the night.
Yeah, that's a good answer, John.
it's always good to recognize the hard work those guys do out in the field.
Appreciate it. It's safety first. All right. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? We have someone?
Yes, are there any residents connected to the pipe between Ward and 178?
No, the resident you're thinking of, Judy,
Yeah,
is on I believe it's Reeves
Mhm.
now. The main was extended on Reeves, so
Okay.
that individual now comes off of Reeves.
okay. My other question is, the pipe is on the east side of Brady Street, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there enough room between where the pipe is and where the property owner's
Yes, ma'am.
property is to put this new line?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Anyone else? Okay, then let's go ahead to 6, recycled water.
Nothing significant to report on recycled water, particularly with all of the lack of clarity about what's going on between the GA and Searles Valley Minerals.
Okay,
And I would remind you that is, and to some extent anyway, on the agenda for the GA.
Yes.
The Wednesday meeting.
okay. Questions? Nope. Public? The GA purchased options for the project and the treated effluent. So until until that agreement lapses, it's theirs. Right, they have to renew this month if they're going to continue on. And yes, because they said it was financially unfeasible, but suddenly it's feasible now. So it's mixed messages. All right. Item 7, financial status.
Okay, so we're already through October somehow. Actual revenues through October is 6.6 million, which is pretty much on par with the budget. Expenditures are at 6.13 million, which is almost $1 million below budget. So we're about $950,000 better than budget at this time. You'll see that our overall our actual water sales is down a little bit, so we're keeping track of that. Capital expenditures to date, about $500,000. Of course, that'll go up once we start working on Brady. Debt service principal of $374,000, and then to date, we have paid just under $19 million to the GA.
And that includes both the replenishment fee and the pumping fee.
Right, replenishment fee at almost 15.5 million.
Okay. As a favor, if you wouldn't mind, as a sub-bullet, separating those out for me for the, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Any questions from the board?
Just as a comment that typically the water district, this was on accounts payable, paid that in one check each month. For some reason, and the check would identify how much was pumping and how much was replenishment.
Okay.
Lately, Ty's got a request to issue separate checks.
Oh,
Don't ask me why. I don't think he knows why. They just,
Yeah, they kept confusing
They
them
kept
or
confusing
mixing
them.
them or-
accounting. I'm sure I'll hear about the malfeasance of the water district and not.
don't forget the
with two
check,
Checks.
line items on the check specifically said replenishment pumping.
Understood.
For October, we did separate them.
Yeah.
All right, good.
So quick question. So you said water, sales are down. That means that people are using less water than
Yes.
last year. So we sort of had a little bit of a blip last year where we saw a little bit of an increase, but it looks like we're going back down again. That's good news.
For
I
some
mean,
people.
maybe not for revenue, but certainly for the valley in general.
Any questions from the public about the financial status? And we have someone here present. If you're online, please raise your hand so you can get in the queue.
How much and where is the money going to come from for the pipe replacement on Brady Street?
So
much
the
does-
funding for the Brady Street replacement project is coming from our bond funds from the 20.
Okay,
for bond funds.
Do you have an estimate yet of that half mile and how much it's going to cost?
I believe we were around 5 million. Yeah.
For the half mile.
Oh,
Yeah,
We budgeted 1.18 for the whole the first half mile, Judy. And that was with removing the pipe that's
Okay.
already there.
right. So we're gonna go as far as we can with what we budgeted for this year
okay.
and we have designs for.
Do we have anybody online? All right. Solar site security update.
Okay, so for the solar sites, well 30 site for the solar is for the most part up and running. I think there's one strand we're waiting on an inverter for. That site has the mobile trailer surveillance system at it, so we felt comfortable going ahead and replacing that. For the other sites, the cameras have all been received. We're waiting on hardware for the installation. Water supply is going out this week and probably some of next week and doing the foundations for the poles. So once they're done with that, we'll be able to install the poles. I don't believe we've received them yet, have we? No. So once we receive those, we'll install the poles, install the cameras, and then we'll have NG come out and complete their repairs on the other sites.
Okay.
I'd like
questions?
to
ahead,
add
George.
real quick that earlier this year, the board approved the purchase of a new skid steer. We also purchased a large auger, 24-inch, I believe, and that auger is what we're using to set the poles. So we're already getting good use out of the piece of equipment that you authorized us earlier this year, and thank you for that.
Questions from the directors, comments? Questions or comments from the public? All right, very good. Arsenic treatment facilities.
All right, so as you'll see, as Ty said earlier, we pumped less. So we just pumped under 5 million gallons in arsenic plant 1. And that, and just over 5 million gallons in arsenic plant 2. Arsenic plant 1 was taken offline at the end of the month, like we do every year. So we do have to do the state testing, so that will be coming up, but we are not using that plant right now. So that's it for your arsenic plants.
Questions?
Yeah, refresh my memory. Plan number 1 is on Mahan and
Plant 1 is on Mahan and Felspar,
the other one
is out there on Primavera and Ward.
that's right, Primavera and Ward. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Did you, I thought I heard you comment that one of the plants was now offline?
Yes, arsenic plant 1.
Okay, and may I consider the fact that the chemicals, the cost has gone up through the roof.
Yes.
Do we really need to have plant 2
Yes.
in service?
Yes, because we got to do the state testing. So we're keeping it online, pumping that one so we can do the state testing. You got to remember, arsenic plant 1 had 2 wells earlier this year, and we removed one of them. So well 11 is not going through arsenic plant 1. It's just well 13 right now. So we will be doing the state testing, but that we don't produce a lot out of the arsenic plant
Okay.
1.
Yeah, I'm trying
Yes,
to minimize the cost of.
100%.
chemicals, and so wherever we can do that.
Yes.
That'd be great.
100%. If we could save that money, Stan, we would, but we have to do it right now for the state testing.
They only run it when they really have to. They're just trying to keep it online to get that testing done. It only comes around every 5 years. It's federal EPA testing, so.
Okay, I understand we have a caller. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, this is Renee Westerlusk again. I'm on the keeping that plant 2. Right now, we've experienced unusually warm weather for this time of year because you have to take both plants down, if I remember correctly, because you have these valves on there that can freeze up and
Yes.
then they get damaged. So what happens if we get really cold weather before the state
We-
testing can be completed?
We
The
we
fa-
will do our best to protect those valves to prevent them from freezing. They make special blankets for them. You can put lights on them. You'll do everything you can to keep the water, moving water through them will help them from stop freezing as well.
So you can keep them so they'll be protected.
Yes,
Okay. So
we do our
then,
best.
So then after the state testing is done, then you take plant 2 off line 2 until like April?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 10, operations.
All right, we'll try to move through this pretty quick here. So it's kind of it was a busy month. We had 17 after-hour calls. That's down from the previous month. 14 of those ended up getting service lateral repairs, 20 lateral replacements. And I know that number is going to be confusing, but some of these service calls we go out, there's multiple service laterals in one hole. So that's why the replacement number will be different, a little bit higher. We had 2 hydrant replacements. We had a mainline repair. I'm sure you guys are all aware of Sunland and Church. A couple air vac repairs on Bowman Road right across from well 35, and then one on Inyakern Road. And we did 25 valves were turned for a total of 372 this year. No DES, we didn't do any. Next slide. We had 176 locates for USA North tickets. So that's a total of 1,415 tickets to date. And then 3 USA South tickets for a total of 37 to date.
That's the internet provider?
USA North and South is the, like when PG&E comes out and dig locates for us.
Okay.
So it's for whenever we do a job, we have to mark it out in the white paint, and then all the utilities come out and mark their services.
Okay.
Same goes for us. When other utilities do it, we got to go mark ours.
Yeah, businesses or individuals.
Yes, sir.
And they're asking for you to do that. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any questions to the board?
Um,
I'm sorry. were you-
No, I had a couple other things real quick for
Okay.
you. Yes, on the last slide, you would have seen that we had a C-zone tank site repairs. We had some, as you're aware of the slide before that, we had some flooding that came down with the rains, and it washed out about 90 yards off of the berm of that slide. So we have been up there, along with the new skid steer, putting 90 yards back in because it butts up right to BLM property. So we have a really tight access to work in up there. So the gentlemen have been up there as well, replacing all that dirt, putting that berm back in. So that's been about a 4-day project, 4.5-day project for them.
That's the gateway tank I see here?
That is C-zone.
Okay, I see gateway, oh, I see above it. It's
Yeah.
it's sort of out of your picture. I see C tank, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, so, and then one other thing I'd like to mention is we had another young man receive his Class B license this past weekend, Andrew Grove, so don't want to let that get unrecognized. So another operator for us to keep moving forward.
Okay. Were there any questions or comments?
I think the Class B licenses have been critical as we move towards the construction on, in the future. Is that correct? Because that'll allow us to be more efficient, having 2 guys.
Absolutely. That gives us a few more operators, not only for the construction, but even for after hours when we're in pinches. So there's a couple other gentlemen that will be receiving their Class Bs hopefully here pretty soon. So, yes.
All right. Well, congratulations, Andrew. Okay. Any comments from the public? Then we'll go ahead and move to board comments and future agenda items. Director Boyd.
Well, sure somebody else will say this, but I'll say it just in case. Lauren, it's been a pleasure working with you. We hate to see you go. This is your last meeting?
Yes.
Did George tell you we were going to have a special committee discussion after this that might go until about 10 o'clock?
I have prior engagement.
Yes, I think so.
Director Rotora.
Nothing other than echoing what Mel said. Good luck to you in your future endeavors. It's been fun working with you.
Director Kozinski.
I want to say thank you to Lauren as well. I'm going to miss you. I think you've always been responsive to any questions that the board has about any of the policies, procedures, insurances and such that I'm sure your replacement is well-trained. And I hope everything goes your way. You're headed to Virginia, right? Is that, were you, yeah. You asked me about that once before. Were there any problems over there? I said, it's a little bit cooler, not a lot of snow, but there is humidity and bugs. So remember, you don't have that here, okay?
And they do have rattlesnakes, so.
No, no.
Different kind, though.
So, good luck to you and your family. And I'm going to miss you. Bye.
I'd also like to say thank you for your years of service. Very much appreciated. I'd also like to welcome Isabel Tejeda Gonzalez as our new our HR specialist and clerk of the board. Welcome aboard. All right. Well, with the date of the next regular board meeting is December 8, 2025. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting at 7:14 p.m. Thank you very much for your time and attention.